Alright, we're going to give this lab another try here. This is my second time doing a lab. And we're going to see what we get here as champions. So I'm excited to see Nautilus and Maokai together. If this is random, the two of them will work together really well. So I know I'm going to keep Nautilus and Maokai. I want to try them out in this lab. I decided that I didn't really want to keep Gangplank. I decided to mulligan him away, even though he was Bilgewater as well. Could potentially work with them. I'm happy I got Lux and Fiora together, actually. They do work really well together, and they seem to have card pools that synergize together, and it gives me another win condition with the Deep and Toss mechanic being one, and kind of Barrier Fiora Lux being another. So yeah, pretty happy with that. And because Fiora is a 3-mana champion, I can play her the first round and start putting some pressure on the opponent. He plays Katarina, and I decide I do not want to deal with Katarina late game and kill her immediately. I don't really want to deal with that and trade them and kill both of the units. Alright, so now we know he has Noxus, so we know a few cards that he could potentially have in his deck and hand. He plays Braum here, that immediately makes me worried about kind of the Scar Reaver class of units where they gain 3 when you hurt them, or 3 attack damage. I consider placing the Dark Water Scourge here just to kind of dissuade an attack, but ultimately don't want to because I don't think he'll attack and I'll just lose the Dark Water Scourge, who works really well with Maokai later on. So I let him get an open attack on my Nexus. I also don't want to deal with the Mighty Poro. And I'm considering playing Maokai here just to start the early level up condition for him. The earlier you get Maokai down, the better. The more cards you can toss with the units you play and end up kind of tossing the enemy's deck once he levels up. So I played the Maokai. It took me longer than it probably should have to come to that decision, but I was a little worried. The Dawn Speakers are also an interesting card here with Maokai because he spawns a sapling each time you place a unit. Gives you an ephemeral unit, which will, when it dies, buff up your other units because we got the Dawn Speakers down. So I was pretty happy about that. Pretty synergistic, actually, and kind of lucky that I drew him. Now that he placed down the Garen, it kind of dissuaded me from attacking. I don't really want to help either of them level up because they have regeneration. I don't have enough mana to kill either of them, so I don't want to give them I guess Garen strikes, and I don't want to give Braum free damage and a free Poro, so I ended up deciding not to attack here with any of my units, hoping that the sapling dying would trigger the Dawn Speakers. Unfortunately, I forgot that unless the unit dies during the round, you don't get the level up or the buff from the Dawn Speakers. I kind of think that's a silly mechanic because it does die before the end of the round, but it doesn't count. And so my units didn't get a buff. Kind of bugged me, but my mistake. He attacks with the Braum and Garen here. I don't want to give him a free attack with the Garen, but I'm kind of forced to. I want to play kind of the long game now that I've got the Dawn Speakers out and Maokai. Where I can kind of buff up my units each round. So I don't block into him this time. And I summon Valor.
Stay safe out there.
I was going to tell you that.
Alright, now kind of the priority is taking out all of these champions. He has basically all of his champions down, and I only have one. We've already killed the cat, so we know that he doesn't have any more champions in his hand. He's played all of them, unless he's drawn the cat again, but more than likely he has not. I want to get rid of this Lux as soon as possible. I was trying to bait out some spells from him there, but he didn't do it. I was okay with trading Valor into that. Once again, the Dawn Speakers will proc now guaranteed because Valor died. I summon the Dark Water Scourge and get a sapling along with it. This is going to kind of mitigate the damage that Garen did the last round, getting an attack onto my Nexus by healing when the Dark Water Scourge attacks here.
Care.
and threaten the Lux again. He uses a elixir of iron. He's just trying to keep his Lux as healthy as possible. I threaten it with more attack damage. And unfortunately for me, he has another elixir of iron. I wasn't really expecting that. I'm okay though taking this trade. Again, it's kind of keeping Lux relatively unhealthy. And clearing out his hand of spells here. Yeah, he had to use quite a bit to keep her alive. So once again, I'm okay with that, and all my units get buffed. As does my powder keg, which I have no way to activate, unfortunately. Alright, so he summons Cytherea the Bolt here. This automatically kind of makes me scared. I consider taking her out right now, or realize I don't have enough attack damage, so I need to summon a unit in order to take her out. And wait for him to make his move. And I get kind of lucky here. He didn't attack right away. He decides to summon Valor, so I'm able to take out Cytherea before he attacks, which was super fortunate for me. I was super happy about that because this would have been a hard hit. Not a lot of my units have more than 3 attacks, so when all the other enemy units have fearsome, I wouldn't have been able to block all of them. So I'm really glad that he decided to summon Valor there. And then for some reason he targets my powder keg. He of course doesn't know my hand. It doesn't know I don't have any way to activate it. So I was actually really happy that he decided to clear the board space for me. And because the Dawn Speakers had buffed it up, it actually killed Valor as well. So I was completely fine with him targeting the powder keg there. Kind of funny.
Time for talking to.
Alright, and then of course he's not going to allow me to kill his unit with my own, so he pulls over the Dawn Speakers. I was kind of sad about that.
Do your worst.
Because I won't be getting any more buffs. I've got no way to save him either. And right now our hand is kind of scary. We don't have a lot of playmaking in the hand that we have. We're kind of waiting on Nautilus to go deep before we play him. I don't really have any deep sea creatures either, so there's really no point in spending the mana other than he's a big body that can block these units.
Better, brighter than before.
Lux, unfortunately, we had to use a lot of our spells earlier, so we don't have spells to level up Lux either. So we're kind of just waiting on what we draw.
A noble end. It is easy.
And it's not looking too good for us right now. I decided to play Lux here because I don't really have any other move to do and get the sapling. Maokai's getting kind of close to his level up. We still got a little ways to go. Once again, I don't want to attack Braum because he's just going to regenerate. I don't have any way to finish off the big champion, so I decide to just go for the smaller one. Helping to get Maokai's level up going here. And he plays Sharaza. She represents double damage to the enemy Nexus. He's got a lot more units than I do, and I kind of get a lucky top deck here in Vengeance. I know he doesn't have a lot of ways to protect himself, and I got the Vengeance. He, of course, is looking to target most likely Maokai here with the Garen, so I automatically kill the Garen. Some people may have gone for the Lux with the Vengeance, but the Garen to me seemed more pressing. He was about to level up. The Vengeance now, because it was 7 mana, automatically leveled up my Lux, and I get a final Spark. And he doesn't really have it. He's only got 1 card left, I know, so there's not really a lot of pressure on me when he attacks here. I also have a final spark, so I know I'm going to be able to take out at least one of his units, and I have a barrier that I can use to protect one of my units if I need to. He decided to attack with his Luxir. I kind of felt like that was a misplay.
Never back down from what you believe.
Because I kind of doubted he had anything in his hand that was going to be able to save it, save his luck. So I was questioning why he actually did that.
Damn it!
And then I final spark his Braum here and get rid of him. And at this point now, I've gotten rid of all of his champions. They do get recycled into the deck, but chances are he does not have them. I was very happy about that. And I can use this card to heal my units back up. Alright. Now that we're deep, that was kind of good timing for that as well. Good time to play Nautilus. I haven't drawn any deep creatures, so I don't know if I even have any in my deck. But he is a huge body. And we are almost to the point of leveling Maokai here. I believe that we are one tick away. So with this death, we're pretty much guaranteed to... With this ephemeral unit, we're pretty much guaranteed to get Maokai's level up condition going here.
No sympathy for sorcery.
I now have the ability to protect my Lux here. I don't really want her taking a lot of damage because she's kind of turned into a secondary win condition for me. So I give her barrier. He got kind of unlucky late game with the spells that he had. I believe that once he played the Cytheria, there was a chance for him to win this game, but playing the Valor was definitely a misplay for him. That's ultimately where this game kind of turned around in my favor. And now he's only got one card left. I know what it is, and I'm kind of surprised he plays it. This kind of lets me know that he's not a very he's not a very experienced player for playing that, because I had a final spark in hand and he should have known that. He really has one chance here to be able to beat me. He plays and then surrenders. So that's the end of the gameplay. Like I said initially, I was pretty happy to see Maokai and Nautilus together and be able to use them both together. Somewhat disappointed though by the end of the game that I didn't have a chance to draw any deep units. And I don't remember seeing any of them tossed either, but that's okay. Once again, kind of fun to see some different champions and how they work together.